friends, your favorite besties are back for another episode of No Ma'am. I'm Will, and I'm joined by my podcast co-host and Chaos.
Joanni. Don't forget to hit that like and subscribe button and hit that notification bell so you don't miss a single episode of No Ma'am.
Friends, we are back recapping Drag Race Brazil Season 2, Episodes 7 and 8. Now, before we even get into the episode, make sure you head over to our Patreon and subscribe. Join the friend group. It's only $5, and you can subscribe at patreon.com/No Ma'am the podcast. Again, $5, join the friend group, and make sure you get to have access to exclusive content. You get to have early access to the videos before they get to be uploaded to YouTube. I mean, that's an accomplishment right there. Just saying. So yes, it is patreon.com/no ma'am the podcast. All right, so now on to the recap. We are recapping Drag Race Brazil Season 2, Episodes 7 and 8. Now, Episode 7 was the roast of Bruna Braga, and Episode 8 was the oh my god, what was episode 8?
It was the makeover challenge.
Yes. See, listen, no shade, but these past episodes of Drag Race Brazil wasn't my cup of tea. I don't know. I just felt like it lost a little bit of steam. And that's no shade to the girls. I just feel like it just lost a little bit of steam towards the end. Maybe it was the challenges. I don't know. It's just something about it just felt a little lackluster than in the beginning of the season.
Yeah, I agree, honestly. I was watching these episodes and I don't know, I just didn't get the same spark that I did towards the beginning of the season. And I don't think that's necessarily the girls' fault. Maybe it's just the editing, like you said, maybe the challenges. But I was just like, eh. Love the girls though.
Yeah. Same. No, I think the girls are amazing, and there's no shade to the talent of the season. I just think it's just maybe the challenges, or maybe it's just us not really just understanding like the
Mm-hmm.
humor. I would say, I guess, for these last two episodes. So that's probably what it is. But it's more than likely like a big portion of it.
Yeah, honestly, especially with the roast, when I was watching it, like, while yes, a lot of the jokes were funny, there was definitely some where the girls laughed, and I was like, I guess that's funny. But again, it's just a cultural thing. We don't understand the references. We don't understand who the jokes are about all the time, and that's okay.
True. Now, what I did appreciate for this for the roast of Bruna Braga was Kiona. Now, I didn't know that Kiona knew Portuguese.
Me neither. Me neither. When I saw it was her, I was like, wait, what? Miss Keona? How many languages you know, girl? Because I think she knows Spanish too.
Probably. But honestly, I didn't know. Is she Portuguese or is she French? Like, is she Brazilian?
I don't know. I really don't know, actually.
I was like, wow. Like, I was like, wait, how are they going to do this? Are they going to talk in English for Kiona? But then she started talking in Portuguese, and I was like, oh my gosh, she knows Portuguese.
Yeah. The only thing I didn't like about having her in an episode was I feel like the girls could have roasted her, and they did it. I feel like that was such a missed opportunity.
Yeah. It did. Also, you know what I appreciate? I appreciate that the rotating of the judges are from like previous seasons of like
Mm-hmm.
Drag Race from like different franchises. So I think we had somebody from Italia. I think we had somebody from Germany, maybe, or
Mm-hmm.
like Belgique or somewhere. And then obviously we have Kiona from France, right? So I love that, a drag queen is bringing girls from different franchises and putting them on the stage of Drag Race Brazil. So kudos to that.
Yeah, I agree. I love when it feels like kind of like when Marvel does the crossovers with the movies. It's given very much like Drag Race Cinematic Universe, and I love that.
It is. It really is. All right. So, like I said, episode 7 was the roast of Bruna Braga. Obviously, I'm not going to go into the roast looks, but I did want to show that we have Ruby Knox, we have Melody Queen, we have Belky, Melina Blay, and Poseidon Drag all going into the roast of Bruna Braga. Now, based on the roast, from what you pretty much understood or what you saw based on editing, which of the girls did you think did a really great job?
Ruby, I think obviously was the best. Her jokes were the ones that I think I understood the most, and I was laughing at the most. I thought they were really smart. I thought she was really funny. The rest of the girls, I think, had some moments where they were funny, but it wasn't as consistent as Ruby's was.
I agree. I think Ruby Knox was pretty much head above the rest in terms
Yeah.
of who did really well with the roast. I could to see that she was really confident. She leaned into it, and I think that's always great. I was a little underwhelmed with Poseidon Drag. I thought Poseidon Drag being funny naturally should have been able to, do a really good job. Did I? I knew that Melody Queen probably wasn't going to be the best in the challenge because she's not really like the funniest girl. So and then Belky, I didn't really see Belky as being like so funny, but I think all in all, I was more I would say surprised at Melina Blade because I was
Hmm.
like, oh, she was okay, but she wasn't the greatest in the roast.
I was expecting to have me like dying with laughter, and that wasn't the case. I think I giggled a couple times, and I was like, oh, okay. Besides Ruby, I think the one that made me laugh the most was Belky.
Yes. Which is surprising because it's like, oh, wait, we don't expect Belky. But then again, Belky did give us breaking news. And so we should have known that she was going to be at least like funny.
Yes, I love Belky. I think I've said this before. Like she wasn't really on my radar at the start of the season, but as the episodes goes on, like I really enjoy Belky. She's one of my
Yeah.
favorites.
But I knew that Melina Blay was doing bad when she stumbled on some of the jokes. And you saw like the judge's face was like, oh, this is not really landing. And then
Hmm.
when you saw it on their face that it wasn't landing, you see that Melina, she kind of knew that it wasn't landing. And so she was like, oh, shit.
Yeah, and then it just went downhill.
It
She
did.
couldn't really
At one point,
recover.
no, she had to tell them to laugh. At one point, she was like, "You could laugh, y'all."
And that was the funniest part of her set.
Like, ooh, girl, when you gotta tell them to laugh, that's a problem. But let's get into the runway. So I said that the theme of the category was crystals. I don't believe it was crystals. I think it was like translucence or something. But what I got was crystals. So I'm gonna go with crystals.
Well, what Drag Queen said was Crystal Heart.
Oh, okay. I'm like, I knew it had to be something with crystals because I
Yeah.
was like, I'm gonna go with crystals. That's what I got. Because everybody seems to be in that theme, and I'm like, okay, cool. I think that's what the theme of it was. So here we go. First up is Ruby Knox. What did you think?
I think she looks beautiful from like the neck up. I really didn't enjoy this dress, honestly. I think it was the choice of fabric for me. It looked really like stiff and uncomfortable, which I guess kind of fits the theme of crystals. But also, I feel like it wasn't translucent or how do you call it, like brilliant enough for it to necessarily read as crystal. So it was like a meh for me.
Yeah, it gives me raincoat. And so, and that's, and no shade to Ruby because I think she looks great neck up. I think the mug is amazing. The hair is great. Like that part is great. But this is a meh because it gave me more raincoat than it did crystals. But I see the inspiration and I see the vision. I just wanted more.
Yeah.
And then we had Melody Queen. What did you think?
This was a yes man for me. I love how fun and over the top this was, like all the crystals on her head and all over her body. I thought she looked great. I loved how shiny this was. This was great for me. I love the color of it too. The silhouette. I love it.
I gave Melody Queen an over because I think this is the best she's ever looked throughout the whole entire season. And I say that because this is a well put together look. From
It
head
is.
to toe, everything feels correct. I think out of all of them, this gives me the most crystal. This gives me the most like what the runway theme is, in my opinion. And this is one of the ones that gave me that. And so I think she looks amazing. And so again, I'm gonna stand by this. This is no shade to Melody Queen, but this is the best she's looked in the season.
No, yeah, she does look great though. That's just me be- being
I'm like,
stupid.
don't be shady. Um, and then we have Belky. What did you think of Belky?
N- t- No. Meh. I appreciate what she tried to do and I see what the vision she was going for was. I just feel like it ended up looking honestly really cheap. It's a no man for me. I loved neck up, great. The headpiece, the hair, the makeup, great. I just really don't like that dress.
I gave it a meh. I've seen this book for this book. I've seen this look before. This reminds me of what Denali did in her season when
With
she
the
was like the
chandelier.
chandelier look. That's the first thing I thought when I saw Bilky's look. And not to say that I think like somebody's copying of the other one. Like, no, but that's kind of where my brain took me to was like, oh, wait, I've seen a look that looks like this before. But again, just like with Ruby Knox, I see the vision, what she was trying to do. It's just not my cup of tea.
Yeah, I agree.
And then we have Melina Blay. What did you think?
I actually really enjoyed this. I love the color of it. I like how fun it was. All the jagged crystals coming out of her. I think this picture doesn't do the outfit justice, at least the way it's angled. I think when you look at it straight on and when she was walking, I think it was great. I love the shoes. I love how it's all like one cohesive look. For me, it's a yes, ma'am.
I also gave Melina Blay a yes, ma'am. I love that she took a different color, right?
Hmm.
Because I love that it was like, you see the blues, you see the purples, or a little bit of the pinks. So she went in a different direction. And I think that's great. Because in a sea full of like silver and like, whites and a little bit like baby blues,
Hmm.
go different. And I think that's what altogether this is a really fun look. But I think the color choice also took this above like the rest for me, which I was like, oh yes, I enjoyed this.
Yeah, I agree 100% with you.
And then last but not least, we had Poseidon Drag. What did you think?
May. It's just a bodysuit with some rhinestones on it. It wasn't anything innovative. I mean, she looked good. It was a good bodysuit, but compared to some of the other girls, I feel like it just wasn't enough. I love the hooker pleasers though.
You gave this a man. I think that's generous. This is a no, ma'am. This is like your typical, like what you think crystals. This is the typical bodysuit that comes to mind. This is like AliExpress, whatever, like Temu Sheen. This is that. And it's no shade to Poseidon Drag because we've seen that Poseidon Drag can do better than this. This to me is a cop out. It's like, oh wait, I really have nothing else to bring. So I'm gonna bring this. Crystals, ooh, let's do a bodysuit. Come on now. We've seen Jennifer Lopez with this. We've seen numerous drag queens with this. We've seen Britney Spears with this. I'm sure Lady Gaga has a version of this. Like every pop like artist has a version of this like bodysuit. They may even have it as a leotard. We've seen it before. It's over. Like,
Yeah, you're right though. Maybe I should change it
like
to no, because I'm keeping that as a man. Because at the end of the day, I mean, she looks good. It's just boring and basic.
yeah. All right. So we see that the winner of episode 7 is none other than Ruby Knox, which made sense, but it's not because of Ruby Knox's runway. I think it's because she did like the really great in the roast. So I think that kind of weighed more than the runway because the runway she was okay, but I think the roast weighed more in this aspect. And then in terms of the eliminated queens, we have another double Shantae between Melina Blay and Poseidon Drag, which I was like, okay. I was not expecting this season to have two double Shantaes.
Me neither, honestly. I was kind of sad though when I fully thought Melanie,
Melina.
Melina was going home. My bad girl. I'm just bad with names. I really thought she was gonna go home, and I was like, oh no, right before the finale too. Like no, and I'm glad she got to stay. I love this picture because it is giving like Chromatica Gaga versus like Enigma era Gaga. Like it's just two
Yes.
Gagas on the stage right there, and I'm living for it. But I thought the lip sync was cute and fun. Uh,
Yeah.
it was fun to watch.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not mad at the double Shantae. I would have preferred one of them to go home. I mean, I tend not to like double Shantaes because it's a competition, but I get it for like storyline purposes. But again, I think as a competition, we want the girls to go home. But sometimes you get like you get an affinity towards one of the queens. You're like, oh my gosh, no, you don't want them to go. And it did feel at one point like Melina was done because the way it made it edited, the way Greg was like slow, like
Yep,
pausing and all this stuff. It does sound like, oh my gosh, she's
she's
going, like
yep. I
she's
was like,
done.
oh no.
Yes, but all in all, we have a double Shantae. So we have the same queens going into episode 8, which was the makeover. So the makeover challenge I thought wasn't bad. I've seen better makeover challenges, no shade, but it wasn't bad.
Yeah, yeah, I agree basically with that. Like it wasn't bad, but I don't think any of them necessarily really stood out to me as like super memorable.
No. So speaking of the makeover challenge, we have Ruby Knox. What did you think?
This was a yes, ma'am. I One, I love how much fun they had on stage and how they acted it out. With first of all, that man, I that man had me feeling things. Even when he was in drag, I was like, oh, look at that body. But what was I gonna say? Now I can't stop thinking about him. But oh, this was really fun. I love the two different colors. I love the idea. I also love the detailing of this, like the thorns on the arms and the stockings. I thought that was great. I like when they took off the bras and had like the pasties underneath, the hair, the makeup. I thought everything about this was great. And I loved the moment when he started taking her Ruby's petals off. I thought that was really funny.
Yeah, I give this a yes, ma'am, too. I just like how confident he was in drag. And I always think that, like, when you make somebody feel really good in drag, especially like big old muscular men, it is something about them and they could just tap into that femininity side. I just think that is great. I think he was feeling himself on this runway. Like, even from this photo that you can see here, he is feeling himself, like feeling himself. And I think that's a testament to what Ruby Knox made him feel and putting him into drag. And I think that's great. I also see the family resemblance, right? They look like they're from the same family. They look related without actually being like, oh, cookie color, here you go, put together. So I also like that too.
Yeah. I think it's a shame that most men would never feel how good it feels to like put on a wig and just serve cut. I think that's such a
Yeah,
shame.
yeah. I mean, but then if everyone did it, it wouldn't be exclusive.
Fair, fair. That's true.
Like, you know, if everyone did it, then it wouldn't be for us.
That's true.
Like, there's room for everyone. Shout out to Giagan.
I know. I mean, there's definitely room for him. Oof, that man.
I cannot. Well, so moving on, let's talk about Melody Queen. What did you think?
I I really liked Melody's dress. Or I didn't really like it. I liked it. For me, her makeover's partner's dress, I didn't really like. I hated that skirt underneath, or like that panel that was underneath the dress. I didn't like the contrast. I didn't like the leggings compared to the like with the contrast of the dress. And it was a meh for me.
Yeah, I gave it a no, ma'am. I think meh again is very generous. I think I don't know, I didn't like it at all. And I don't mind orange. Like, as you can see, obviously, orange is the color of our podcast. Like, so I like the color orange, but this made me not like orange.
Not Melody making you
Because
hate
you
a
know
color
why? Because yes, you know why? Because I hate when makeovers and like the queen that is doing the makeover challenge looks really great, and then the makeover like queen does
is
not look
busted.
good. And I get it. It's supposed to you're supposed to make yourself look good because you're the one that's competing. But at the same time, it's like there's an element of y'all both need to be cohesive and y'all both need to look good.
I agree. At the end, the challenge is a makeover challenge, so you got to make sure they at least look just as good as you do.
And so when it's disjointed, when one of the queens looks good and then the other one looks busted, my eye directly goes to the
Hmm.
queen that's being made over.
Yep, exactly that.
Right, because Melody looks decent. Like she looks really good. If it was Melody by herself, I'd have been like, oh, this is a yes ma'am all day. Like I like
Hmm.
this. But together, I'm like, oh no, this does not look good because it looks very hodgepodge.
It does. It definitely does. This is not the level of drag I would be expecting at this point in the competition, honestly, especially for Melody.
Correct. Correct. So, all right. Then let's talk about Loki. What did you think?
This was a no man for me. Like them from the head up, I thought she looked great. I think that was Belky's face stamped right on her partner. I did not like these dresses at all. I hated the colors of the green and pink one. I thought it was like I kind of get what she was going for with like the contrast of the same dress, same silhouette, but different colors. But I don't think it worked in this case. When I think the contrast of like black or gray, I don't necessarily think neon colors as the contrast of that. So I thought they looked really weird and disjointed on stage. So yeah, overall, no man for me.
Same. This was a no ma'am. I'm a pull a Michelle. It does not give me a family resemblance. And the
At
reason
all.
why I say that is because Michelle is a stickler for looking the same colors, same kind of fabrics, whatever. And so to me, that's when I look out for a makeover. It doesn't have to be exact, like identical, but I have to see that you are from the same family. There has to be elements of there that I feel like you're the same. One is black and gray, and the other one is neon colors. Even the wigs were totally different. And I'm like, they look polar opposites.
Yep.
Even with Belky's face stamped on the like the
Yeah.
made over queen, like even if that is Belky's face, just no.
Yeah. It was too contrasting to really have a family resemblance.
Correct. All right, and then we have Poseidon drag. What did you think?
I so it's I enjoy these looks individually, and I do see that they are kind of cohesive, but at the same time, the different kind of textures and fabrics on their outfits kind of threw me off. I think the main reason they look kind of cohesive was mostly because of the color. So for me, it's a meh too. Um, and I wish they didn't have the glasses. Honestly, I think it just kind of covered their faces up a little bit. I don't think they needed them. Uh, but yeah,
That's generous. This is a no, ma'am. Listen, I think the only thing that's good on these looks is the glasses and the wigs. It's the only thing I like is the glasses and the wigs. Everything
I
else that can it can go.
I didn't like the wigs. I feel like one, we've seen this type of hairstyle done a lot and way better. I think these wigs were too flat for the style that she was going for.
Also, can we just get rid of those fucking ugly ass pleasers? Like, can we just stop them?
I think
Like, just
I think it's just
stop
because
it.
it's the easiest for them to walk in, especially if they don't have any experience walking in heels. It's probably
I
provided for
get
them.
it. You know why? Because I am traumatized from season 17. Like, I am traumatized. Like, I love Lana Del Rey, but like, them pleases, I am so traumatized. She won them every single challenge. So, like, every time I see them, I'm like, oh my gosh. Even though we live for Lana, but like, I just hate pleasers. Like, I hate them because I don't know.
I
Maybe it's
love
just me. Maybe
pleasers.
call me old fashioned. Maybe call me weird. But like, I hate when I see somebody that's like 8 feet tall because they're wearing like 6 to 12 inch pleasers. Like, I don't know. It just pisses me off.
I love
Pisses
pleasers.
me off.
Listen, if I could wear them, I would. Listen, these ankles got no type of support. I would break them in like 2.5 seconds. I would topple over. I would eat shit. Like it would
Yes.
not be
You know,
cute.
every time I think of pleasers, like outside of drag, I think of that one, I forgot what it was. Either it was a TikTok or it was an Instagram video with the girl, she's in the clothing store. And she's in like the foot store, like the shoe store, and she has on these red pleasers, and her ankles like they buckle, and she just like folds into like a pretzel. Every time, that's when I like outside of drag, that's the first thing I think of when I see these pleasers.
First thing I think of is a fucking hooker.
Mhm. Star booty.
I love Star Booty. Yeah. There's a hair in my eye. I can feel it, but I
He's always going through something, y'all. And then we have Melina Blay. What did you think of Melina Blay's look?
no, I think this is so boring. It's not what I would expect from Melina. The contrast in hairs I didn't like. I did not like her partner's outfit. Like I think the shoulders just made her look even more manly than she already was. I hated the red stockings. It was just no.
Yeah, I hated it. Did not like it at all. This is a no man for me. Did not like it. It's gross. I don't, it's gross. Like, just
I didn't
burn
say
it.
that part.
Burn the outfit,
Oh,
y'all. Like, burn it. It's gross. Because I'm like this. At this point, going into what was it, the semifinals, right? Or the penultimate round or whatever it is, right? This does not give me the caliber that I'm looking for. This is going into the top 4. At this
And yeah,
point, I want to see like the best of the best. I want to see you bring your A game. I want to see you bring your best designs. I want to see you bring the best that you can possibly do. And quite frankly, only one of them did that for me.
and I think that's the case in the last 2 episodes. Honestly, I think most of the queens kind of under delivered, with the exception of Ruby, and she's just eating them up, and it feels like they're just letting her like bulldoze them.
Correct. Right. And so speaking of Ruby, she wins the episode, right, of the makeover. So episode 8 is won by Ruby Knox and the eliminated queen is Belky. Now, honestly, when the season started, we did say that Ruby Knox just gave us winner. But in the
Mm-hmm.
middle of the season, Ruby kind of faded to the background. And
Mm-hmm.
then it's like, oh, we saw other queens coming in, right? We had Adora Black come in, and she just kept, like winning the fashion challenges. And we like, oh, wait, maybe she's like the dark horse that may actually
Mm-hmm.
win, right? And then we're like, oh, at first it was like, oh, Melody Queen is getting all the confessionals. And then we kept seeing Melody Queen in the bottom. Like, she's been in the bottom
Mm-hmm.
like 3 times now.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, she's the lip sync
Sure.
assassin of the season, but that's not winning.
I think Ruby Knox is gonna take it. Honestly, I think she has really dominated this like later half of the season. And I mean, it feels correct. I think she's always been very professional, very put together, very polished. I could definitely see her taking it home. I was really sad to see Belky go though, because like I've said this a million times, wasn't a big fan of her. I ended up falling in love with her. I loved her, and I could not see a top 4 without her. I no shade, but I probably would have replaced Poseidon with her.
Same. I did not see Poseidon in the top 4 of this season, and that's no shade to Poseidon, but the editors did her a disservice.
Yeah, I agree. I don't think they showcased their talents well enough to really make us be like, yeah, she deserves that top 4 spot, or like even like I can see her as a winner. For me, it just feels like the other 3 queens did pretty well for the most part, and then it's just she kind of just got there, even though she does have
Yeah.
a win.
Yeah. So here we go. Here's the top 4 of Drag Race Brazil season 2. We have Poseidon Drag with 1 win and 2 bottoms. We have Ruby Knox with 3 wins and 1 bottom. We have Melody Queen with 1 win and 3 bottoms. So literally the reverse opposite of Ruby Knox.
Hmm.
And then we have Melina Blay with 0 wins and 2 bottoms. So with this track record, it would make sense to give it to Ruby Knox.
Yes, I think she's taking it home, honestly. But who knows? We don't know what the finale is going to be like. There might be a lip sync tournament. Who knows? Ruby Knox might get kicked out.
I think so. I honestly think it probably is a lip sync Lollapalooza, like they always do, right? Or a lip sync to the crown. I think they're gonna get Melody Queen versus one of the queens, and I think they're gonna do Ruby Knox versus one of the queens, and then it's the top 2 is gonna be Melody Queen and Ruby Knox.
Oh, absolutely. Those are definitely going to be the top. So I think that was written in the starters. And I think we could tell that from a couple episodes ago that those should be the top 2.
Yeah, and then depending on the fan reception, because a lot of people like Melody Queen, so
They love
it could
Melody.
be an underdog story, right? They could have said that who knows, right? We don't I'm not too familiarized with like Ruby Knox or Melody Queen in terms of which one is more popular because for this season it didn't give me like everybody's like right, you know how sometimes when the girls come in they like
We got to
who
go
does a
home.
yeah, who's a really good example of that?
Every crew.
I think Espana is a really good example of like when certain girls come on, they like it's a wrap.
Yeah.
Right? I think Drag Race Down Under is a really great example of when the girls come on, they like, oh, it's time for us to go. Because remember they did it with Max to Drag Queen, even though Max didn't deliver, but that's a different conversation.
And
And
Mexico.
then Mexico, yes. Like they do that with Mexico a
When
lot too.
Electro came in, they were like, ooh, we got to go.
Yes, because isn't majority of the people came from her, right? So they were like, and she was on multiple like other
Hmm.
drag like competitions in
Yeah.
Mexico. So they were like, we gotta go. And then she didn't do that well. So yeah, so I'm happy that, Brazil didn't do that this time, which is
Hmm.
good.
I agree. I like there being an element of of mystery and kind of surprised to see, like, I want it to feel like an actual competition. Like, we don't know who's going to take it.
Yeah. And this season is a really great example of we don't know who's going to win. It could be anyone. It could be anyone in the top 4, actually, at this rate.
Except Poseidon.
Maybe, and she may pull it off, y'all.
Oh my
She may
God.
actually pull it off. So, who knows? Well,
Somebody get an
anyways,
iceberg. Oh, wait, that's
correct.
the wrong boat. That's the wrong boat.
It's the wrong boat, yes.
Somebody get a wave. It was a wave. Somebody, tsunami.
On that note, y'all, make sure you like, comment, and subscribe. Hit that notification bell so you never miss a single episode of No Ma'am. Until next time, friends.